Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. So today, I will be presenting on a leap of faith. Well, being scornful of something that has taken over the world by storm sounds very ridiculous, doesn't it? In hindsight, everyone would like to go back and see the burst of the internet bubble. Well, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin has taken over the world by storm in the past 2 years. However, in today's climate, there are still many who are doubtful of it, who think that it's a scam or worse. Well, today I'm here to tell you that the time for putting the chains down and putting them in the past, the ways of doing things traditionally, should be left behind and where it belongs, which is behind us. So, we can learn from the story of Bitcoin and its story and how it can relate to our lives, how we can use it as a tool for improvement, and how we can finally learn from it and leave the past in the past. So, to explain, what is Bitcoin? Well, it's basically a digital asset that's on the blockchain technology. Well, of course, to you, that means basically nothing. But essentially, it is a freer way of doing currency trading and making sure the world has a freer method of trading. Well, the story of Bitcoin began in 2008 when there was a great financial recession. In this time period, many banks, many institutions collapsed due to having faulty loan programs and creating bad decisions for citizens. And this is where crypto began. The creators of crypto wanted to create something that could put the control of the flow of money into the hands of the individual, rather than in the hands of the institution, like we traditionally have, like the banks, the government, that controls all of our money. Well, in the financial Great Recession, many banks, such as Lehman Brothers, collapsed due to them having very, very bad financial programs. When Bitcoin came up and started to take over and replace these financial institutions, many banks and governments wanted to oppose it. They thought it was going to be a scam. They proclaimed it to be a hoax. And eventually, many people bought into that theory of it being just another online scam. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. And similar to our lives, many people will proclaim us to be illegitimate, and doubt our ability to do anything. For me, this came in the form of going back to Hong Kong and starting to work. Well, what happened then? There were many people who doubted my ability to do anything. And while they might have been justified, of course, everyone would doubt you, right? No matter if you're trying to win a competition, trying to do well in your exams, or even just trying to confess to a girl you like, you will always face people who doubt you. Well, thankfully, the creators of Bitcoin never backed down. And so, Bitcoin is now the billion-dollar industry that it is today. Well, the creators of Bitcoin had faith, and they took a leap of faith into the unknown. They took a leap of faith believing in the Bitcoin's ability to create universal suffrage, to have democratic financial systems for all, and finally, create more equity into our lives. This is the system that the investors, the users, and the creators of Bitcoin finally thought would be achieved. Take this guy, for example, Didi Tufatu. He believed in Bitcoin's vision, so he sold off all his assets in 2017 to buy as much Ethereum and Bitcoin as he could, essentially becoming a multi-millionaire now worth over 100 million. And he's giving back to his community part by part. Not only him, but a creator like Sam Bankman-Fried, who was touted as a homeless person. He left his comfy job on Wall Street and sold his house to create a Bitcoin trading platform called FTX. And he moved all across the world to Hong Kong and Shanghai to create this vision. It is people like this who never gave up on their dreams that allowed Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and things like new inventions like this to take the next step that it can today. Finally, sometimes we just have to believe in ourselves. No one is going to tell us that we can do it other than ourselves. At the end of the day, it's just you yourself. So, this happened to me when I started my own company in Hong Kong. When I went back to Hong Kong and started this, many people thought it was just going to be a joke or something to play around with. However, proving people wrong is what we did. Essentially, we created marketing campaigns for our clients that reached over millions of people around the world. We started with small, like the story of crypto. We made small progress at first. We started with small social media campaigns that finally evolved into posters on bus, and eventually one of the biggest billboards in the middle of Hong Kong. Reflecting the story of crypto, every one of us have to start somewhere, and without that start, we would be nowhere. On the long journey that is our lives, of course, like mentioned prior, there will be many, many people who doubt our ability, many people who will tell you that you can't do it. Well, it is only when we rid the ineffectual habits of the past and we rid these noises out of our ears is when we can finally make these positive changes to our lives. Of course, I'm not saying this journey will be easy, because journeys like these never tend to be easy. Of course, there will be many things we encounter along the way, such as things that may be good but disguised as bad, or even things that are bad that are disguised as good. Take the yuan coin in China that emerged recently. This yuan coin was proposed as China's cryptocurrency. Well, on the surface, of course, it does seem that way. However, upon deeper inspection, it was actually centrally monitored and governed by the Chinese government, betraying the ideals of what a cryptocurrency stands for. Of course, the form of trade being too heavily monitored has its benefits, right? Like, they can catch money laundering easier. People who are moving black money will be caught very easily with this monitored trade. But at that point, it betrays the whole idea of crypto. Well, a form of trade being too similarly controlled is like you being too similarly chained down in an environment. Be it in school, because of your wealth, because of your status, you can always be tied down by our circumstances. But it is only when we let go of those circumstances and finally move on is when we can break the chains of the past. Well, at school, we are constantly being regulated. At home, we are being put under a microscope. And in our lives in society are expected to meet societal expectations. Well, sometimes we just got to leave that all behind. In closing, I would like to encourage all of you to think about the concept of cryptocurrency and how the journey from an unknown trading method can evolve into a billion-dollar industry that it is today. Well, we all have an innate potential to do something great, something innovative, something revolutionary. However, it is up to you to capture that potential and never let it go. Because at the end of the day, it's only up to you and yourself to take yourself on that next great adventure. Thank you.